Hey guys, and welcome to episode 4 of this Elo Cast, and this is another game that was sent in by a member of my Discord, and which again guys, a bunch of you guys actually sent in some games after the last cast, which was awesome. But if you want to send those in, just go to my Discord channel, drop a replay, or you can send me an email. Either of those will work. And what do we have here? Some Russian Twin Rivers, this is not Twin Rivers. Turtle Rocks, yeah, so this is Turtle Rocks. I don't know that much Russian, but I know enough to like pronounce the language and some like kind of travel essentials. Yeah, I know enough to pronounce the names of the maps, which is just what they happen to be saying there. But yeah, we can go ahead and jump into it. We have, looks like a ranked game, Blue Seraphim and Dark Blue UEF we have up here. Je Trojan, I don't know if that's supposed to be French, but I said it as such. And then Useless Goddess, okay. And they're going down here, the bottom left corner, and then up here in the top right, we have, looks like both Seraphims. We have Light Red Crypto and Dark Red Iman Supreme. And yeah, let's go ahead and see what is going on this one. So I'm going to speed it up by 1 here just to get things going. And so yeah, this will be an interesting one. This one is typically some, action in the middle. There's 3 pretty distinct lanes here with a little bit of cut throughs here and there. But yeah, generally you get some good land spam in the middle. And then it's a little bit dirty because you can build some navy too. And if your opponent doesn't counter the navy, it can be quite deadly. So let's see. We have Trojan already moving out with his commander, and a little bit early, guys. I say it in pretty much every one of my videos so far, but if you don't know what to do in your early game, if you're not like absolutely certain about what you're doing, it's probably safe to build 3 factories before you move out. And that's just because you want to get your economy up and running a little bit, because while you gain some ground with your commander, if your opponent is 30 seconds later and they come with an army, you're going to have to fall back eventually no matter what. So they're moving out pretty early here after just 1 factory, and they're leaving just their engineers to do everything. How are they doing? Are they stalling on anything? Trojan is about to stall, which is interesting because he has a... Oh, that's why. He's already starting a naval factory. Okay. Interesting. Okay, and then this is taking... Oh my goodness gracious. He's already upgrading a mass extractor. And guys, this is something I would actually not recommend. Holy cow, he's assisting it with 2 engineers, so that's where his power is going. It's taking 62 power to just upgrade this thing, and then he's assisting it with 2 engineers, which is doubling the cost there. And that is something I wouldn't recommend. Generally, especially... Actually, no, not especially anywhere. Generally, you want to expand as far as you can, and then... only after you have nowhere left to expand should you then start upgrading your economy, because this is a lot of resources that are going into just this 1 upgrade right here. And if he stalls, that's really bad. It can hurt his economy, and all this resources going in there is not tanks that are on the field. So ideally, if your opponent does not upgrade any mass extractors... Oh wow, we have a mass extractor upgrading here too though. So let's see, are all the players doing it? Oh my gosh, yeah, all the players are doing it. Wow, okay, so I don't think I missed a memo on this one, but holy cow, yeah, all 4 for 4 players. So I don't think that's the meta for this map. And I just missed a loop or anything. Generally, guys, I'd recommend expand until you can't expand anymore. Only then should you start thinking about upgrading. That's not like necessarily 100% of the time true, but again, a lot of the things I talk about are just generally good rules of thumb to follow. And there's really not that much battle going on. The middle of the map is kind of just going to red team right now. This is interesting. His commander's in the water. Okay. Oh my goodness, they're rushing a Tech 2 naval factory. Wow, that could be deadly, assuming they don't get overrun. They are investing heavily into everything but land right now. They're investing into eco, and they're investing into navy, which, he's starting to build some land spam. But if red team, crypto, or Iman just get a scout plane or something, and they see what's going on here, they see a factory that is just upgrading with no like ship in the shipyard. It's just like building something. You can assume that's an upgrade right there. And guys, a Tech 2 Navy upgrade is heavy. That's a lot of resources. Generally, tech for Navy is about a tech level above their counterparts. It's like Tech 1 Navy is kind of similar to like Tech 2 Land and so on. They're just kind of a tech above their land counterparts. And so if he rushed this upgrade, that's a cue for Dark Red up here, Iman. He can just come in. Blue has literally nothing. His commander is just starting to come back. But yeah, if he pushes up here, oh, and there's some scout planes coming, which is great. But yeah, if he pushes up here and just grab one of these scout planes, there's 5 of them, and they're patrolling the front lines, which is great. But you can patrol the front lines or get intel on your front lines, which is really what you need. These guys are getting intel right now. You can get intel with just radars. So just grab some engineer and just build a radar on the front line. And you can't really have too many radars. Of course, if it's too early game and you build too many radars, you'll power stall. But generally you want to build radars just so you don't have any gaps. And if one gets destroyed, just rebuild it. But use your scout planes to scout the enemy, especially when you have 6 like this and the enemy doesn't have any air. Just put one on patrol around the base, and then you'll just have like a just permanent vision of what they're doing. Because I think this Tech 2 Navy is finished. Holy crap, that Tech 2 Navy is finished. And red team has no idea that they don't have an army. Well, they should actually have an idea, because they're not seeing any resistance. And I guess just another word of advice. That's what I love about these low elo casts, is there's so much to talk about. Keep going until you see pressure. If you don't see any pressure, heck, take advantage of it. Just send some engineers and build all these mass extractors. This is well within Iman's hands right now. So he can take just this guy, just scroll out, grab an engineer, build a couple mass extractors, build a radar on the front line, and then you just gain that much more on the map. And your opponent, like blue team, hasn't shown any interest. Oh my gosh, they're on Tech 2 land. They haven't shown any interest whatsoever in pushing past their borders. So don't be worried about losing this stuff, especially Tech 1 mass extractors. They repay their cost in like a couple seconds, and they're almost instant to build. So there's really no reason not to build these mass extractors right here. And the only reason I can think of is that you're playing like this. And this is what noobs do a lot. You're not quite this exaggerated, but this is what noobs do a lot. I'm not going to tell you. See if you can guess it. This is how kind of a new player's starting. They're, looking at the battles and stuff. And this is how a, I don't want to say pro, but somebody who's a little bit more experienced, this is how they play. See if you can see the difference. Did you see what I did there? All I did was just zoom out. And it's called a tunnel vision. New players tend to get tunnel vision a lot, where there's a battle going on, and it's interesting. You want to see who's winning. You want to, pull your tanks back if they're about to die. But you can do that at a glance like this. So every now and then, actually not every now and then, you want to start playing more zoomed out just in general, so you can get an idea of what's going on. And then micro can come into play and win you some battles. But honestly, guys, especially at new elos like this, the game is won in macro. The game isn't necessarily won if you save 1 or 2 tanks. And definitely if you're like 2,000 plus rated player, I mean, you don't need me to tell you what to do at that point. But generally, just try not to get tunnel vision, guys, and just zoom out every now and then, especially with these like air plays going on here. Just send them over. They don't need to be just kind of doing their own thing here. They can, really important to see what your opponent is doing. I don't think blue has really shown any interest in expanding either. They're kind of just happy to sit back and eco. They haven't really done anything with the... Oh, they're building a... I think that's a destroyer. It's kind of hard to tell there. But, ooh, okay. So I think this is like basically our first or second actual confrontation now. Red is starting to push here. And there's only one commander from Goddess. And there are some Tech 2 tanks on the field. This factory is doing nothing. These two are producing just Tech 1 units. And this one's producing Tech 2 units. Okay. So another piece of advice here, guys. Even if, you haven't scouted this base, in that battle, if you're zoomed in like this, you'll definitely have seen Tech 2 units. Generally, try to go for as sharp tech switches as you can. If you see your opponent is on a higher tech level than you, stop producing the lower tech level units. All these factories are producing like Tech 1 units right now. just stop doing that. They're just going to be cannon fodder. They're literally just going to be mass dumps on your opponent's base. And if we look in here, all these units came in, and now that's just a bunch of mass. If blue remembers to scoop it up, which he should, or she, goddess, potentially, maybe a woman. But yeah, no, those are all just going to be just mass dumps. So especially when you're not under pressure like this, if you see higher tech level on the field, again, don't get tunnel vision. You're looking here, you see Tech 2 tank. Take a second, zoom out. All you have to do, guys, super easy. Double click your factories, hit the escape button, and that'll stop whatever they're doing, right? Maybe you want one factory, just infinite repeat on engineers the whole game, that's fine. But all your other factories, double click them, hit escape, and then just start upgrading one to Tech 2. You should have plenty of eco to do it if you pause all your unit production or cancel your unit production. And it's good. You just want to get Tech 2 units on the field because I have a feeling these units are just going to get annihilated. Well, there's actually only one Tech 2 tank here and a commander, which is interesting. Gun upgrade coming in over here. So this is cool. I love the gun upgrade. I'd probably wait to send in your forces until this gun upgrade is completed because now you have half an army. When if you just waited 30 seconds for this upgrade to finish, you could have pushed with your army and your upgraded commander at the same time, and that could have gotten somewhere. But at the moment, you just sent in a bunch of just Tech 1 spam. There's a bunch of spam here, but you sent them up against a bunch of like Tech 2 tanks and the opponent's commander, so that's really not going to get anywhere. It could have done something with this upgraded commander, so yeah, just wait. I mean, it's in no rush. These guys have shown absolutely no interest in actually expanding. So yeah, just wait and do a combined push. That might make the difference. But yeah, blue is pretty happy just to hang tight. Red is also pretty happy just to hang tight with their air or something. They could probably. Blue has shown no interest in air at all. So if red, again, just scrolling out, and this is what red sees, they actually, oh wow, they don't see this Tech 2 destroyer. Which thankfully the destroyer looks like it. Really, it can't hit their base from there. Wow. Okay, that's fortunate for red team, but they really should do something about that because that is dangerous. But yeah, no, if this is what red team sees, right? 13 minutes in, they've had no air resistance or anything. Just build some gunships, right? Build some gunships or build some fighter bombers or something. If you mass like 10 fighter bombers, you can snipe this commander pretty easily. And the fighter bombers are pretty cool too because they hang around, they shoot down enemy air in case the opponent does want to build some interceptors or something. The fighter bombers will take care of those. They'll bomb this commander. They'll bomb all these mass attractors. If you guys went into, just one of you guys went into probably Iman over here. If you teched up this air factory, again, just zoom out, see what's going on. No air defense, so hey, let's go into my air factory and I'll just pause production on these interceptors, which really aren't doing anything because the enemy doesn't even have air. Just pause those interceptors, upgrade a factory, and then build a bunch of fighter bombers. 10 fighter bombers would probably win the game right now. This is a cool looking battle though, so I'll give it to you there. I do like cool looking battles. I'm partial. And ooh, we have some units coming into top to help too, so this actually could be pretty dangerous for blue team. Looks like some Tech 2 point defense is going up though. Oh, and there are some interceptors. I might be stupid and just have missed these interceptors, but I swear they weren't on the field when I was talking about it. But I could have totally missed out on it. But hey, I think this is Red's first vision of their base, is an air battle over blue's base. So definitely would use those scouts. I know I mentioned it already, so I won't mention it again. But yeah, you want to know what your opponent's doing. Your opponent's teched up already. Generally a good idea to know that. But this push is actually looking pretty good. They took out all the Tech 2 units. All that's left is this full health commander, and Trojan is bringing his commander down. So I think 2 commanders and a Tech 2 point defense are going to be able to hold off against this. And at this point, just reevaluate, guys. I want you to think of problems and solutions. So right now, there's a problem of your Tech 1 army just got destroyed. What is the solution to that? There's a couple solutions. One solution is to fall back and tech up. If you teched up to Tech 3 right now, again, they've shown absolutely no interest in actually pushing you, so you have time to go up to Tech 3. Tech 3 units would just destroy everything they have, right? They're barely on Tech 2. If you have some Tech 3 tanks on the game, that would win the game. That's one solution. Another solution, as I mentioned earlier, would be like fighter bombers. And that's really good ways to think about this. Another problem over here, this could be deadly, a cruiser, and they should be able to see cruiser missiles coming off. Maybe not. That's a pretty isolated commander who's running right now. But yeah, this is a problem up here, so I like it. This is a solution. They're coming. Really need to get some scouts on the field, though, because we have full vision, and we can see this cruiser. But guys, Seraphim cruisers are deadly. They can launch cruise missiles. And if he gets this cruiser, who is that? Is that Trojan? If Trojan gets this cruiser up in this corner, that could be a serious problem. And the solution to that, as I was mentioning too, is just to build some tactical missile defense. But that's only really a band-aid on the problem. That's not going to solve the problem. I like the idea. They're trying, right, to defend this navy over here. They see these destroyers running around. This is another just band-aid, right? Because stationary defense doesn't move. It's similar to land. You don't really want to build point defense as much if you're new. Just build tanks because they move. Similar to this torpedo launcher. That's good defense, but the defense doesn't move, right? So build a navy factory, and you're going to be at a real big disadvantage with these Tech 2 units rolling around. So that was probably, I mean, at this point, it's going to be real tough to get back into the Navy game. So you're going to have to build some like torpedo bombers. Again, you have like air advantage, so you could build torpedo bombers and try to like muscle your way back into the Navy game. But really, you probably should have identified this like earlier in the game with all those scout planes that were just kind of doing the patrol on the front lines, right? It looks like Iman is posturing for another attack down here, sending in this tank early just to make sure he gets destroyed in front of the rest of his army. Blue's pretty chill here, just kind of sitting stationary. I don't think Blue has even reacted in this case. And guys, that just goes to show that macro, again, is more important than micro in this case. Blue isn't really doing much right here and is basically, I mean, I wouldn't say he won that battle, but Dark Blue's coming in to assist, and now there's a bunch of bombers going around. And this is probably what Trojan is tunnel visioned on, is just having fun, just sitting off the coast, totally defenseless for the most part. And now he just gets to pick off, power generators, eco, and Red is thinking, oh God, I have to do something quickly. Let me try to move in again. But it's a tough sell. If you were to tell me that you send in your Tech 1 army and they got annihilated and that your plan was to send in another one, it's kind of like World War One, right? You just kind of do the same thing over and over again and just people die and not much change happens. That's not a healthy looking commander. I'd probably try to switch up your approach, as I mentioned earlier. Think about problems and solutions. Your problem was you sent in a Tech 1 army and they died. Solution would either be to tech up or switch to air. Probably wouldn't just do the same thing again, even though I know it's tough, guys. There's a lot going on, lot to focus on, but yeah, ouch, that wasn't good. And now 2 cruisers coming in. I don't see any TAC missile defense on the field, and if you guys saw this, again, problem, cruisers destroying my whole base. Solution, you're going to have to find your Tech 2 factory, build 5 T2 engineers, and you're going to have to spam up some TAC missile defense. And they're actually right here, so they're already built. So yeah, just if you see this happening, just take a second, zoom out, find your Tech 2 engineers. You can double click them or whatever. There's actually a lot of Tech 2 engineers on the field. Or you can look over here. I mentioned this in my last cast, but if you left click, it'll find it on the map. If you right click, it'll zoom in and go to it. If you double left click, it'll select all idle engineers. That might not be useful in this case. But yeah, problem and solution. Problem, TAC missiles destroying your whole base. Solution, build TAC missile defense, build some shields. And I mean, honestly, this is going to be tough to muscle back from with no Navy. You'd have to spam up torpedo bombers from the destroyed factory. So that's a big problem, guys. That is a big problem. There's some flak on the field, but honestly, guys, that's a solution to a problem that didn't exist. They never went to air, so this is just wasted resources. You don't need flak on the field if your opponent isn't going flak. And this point defense here, again, a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. So just look at what problems are on the field and figure out solutions to the existing problems. And here, Ramon goes again with another Tech 1 push. I'd probably put my money on this not working, but it is working. They're getting in there. That's a lot of Tech 1 bombers though. It also does look cool, which I'm always a fan of. Cool airplanes flying around doing cool stuff. And this is actually going pretty well. So, heck, who knows? Maybe this could actually win the game right here. Let me actually go into split screen. And I'll have one focus on the base destruction, I guess. And then one focus on the battle over here. And this is going really well. Except that, that 15,000 HP commander. These units are starting to die out. He is going for the eco. I'd probably go for the mass points. That's a Tech 3 mass extractor. Wow, Tech 3 mass extractor. I haven't even looked at the eco in a while. But yeah, that Tech 3 mass extractor is a juicy target. Mass extractors and power, honestly. It looks like he is going for it. So, hey, this is actually going pretty good. He has a lot of his army left. But these two commanders in the base are probably going to clean up this force. And then, guys, look at this. Oh my gosh, that is a ridiculous amount of mass. So if they survive this, if your opponent survives an all-in push, this was actually a pretty good amount of base destruction, but they didn't get any of the factories, right? So they can reclaim all this mass and then just use that to rebuild their mass extractors and just immediately upgrade them. And then maybe in like 2-3 minutes, maybe not, maybe like, I don't know, under 5 minutes, if they have engineers reclaiming all this stuff, they can just reboot. They can rebuild their entire base. And then on this side of the map, still not too much of a reaction going on here. I still don't see any point defense, and this base is just gonna get whittled down and just die a lonesome death. It's just gonna go away quietly. And I think what was going on here was that they were focused on the all-in push over here, which again I totally get. I'm not trying to judge anything too. Everything I'm saying right now is just supposed to be friendly bits of advice, because guys, I was a noob too. I'm still kind of a noob, and this game is hard. So if we can learn together, that is, that's what I want to do. So I don't want to see, no one be ashamed of your gameplay or anything too. It doesn't matter if you lose. You learn more from when you lose than you do from when you win. So honestly, guys, yeah, hope you can get some takeaways from this. I don't see red coming back from this, so I'm just going to speed it up by 1 as his base slowly gets whittled down, because red pretty much did an all-in push that was close, but there were 2 commanders there that pretty much mopped it up, and with those 2 commanders, it would have been hard to come back. And I think either that was a surrender or the commander got sniped by these cruise missiles. But even though they had map control, guys, maybe they could have built some stuff in the middle of the base, in the middle of the map, but honestly, I don't think there would have been much to do about it at that point. It was pretty much, once these cruisers and destroyers got into the main base and we didn't see a reaction in the form of like trying to counter it with your own Navy units, it was going to be hard to come back from Navy. So this had to work, and when it didn't work, that's pretty much game. Let's look at the score really quick, just out of good practice. And okay, we can see here, Dark Blue actually got a commander, which is cool. And he was actually trailing for a lot of the game, which is interesting, because he was the one with the bomber play, and I think Light Blue was the one with the cruiser and the destroyers the whole game. But yeah, guys, pretty even game. Again, this was like a low elo game. I think like somewhere between like 500 to 800 was the elo. So it just probably similar to what you guys will see when you start. And mass income, it makes sense that red was ahead on mass income because they had map control pretty much the whole game. So even though blue upgraded their mass extractors, it's just not the same as map control. And of course you have to allocate those resources in ways that make sense, which usually isn't just stationary defenses. Let's see, this is energy in pretty steady the whole time. I think blue, can't remember if his energy got destroyed or if he just didn't keep up with the building of it, but definitely want to keep up your energy production there. Total build, so this can be good, the total build screen, except it was all T1 spam the whole game, basically. Some T2 units here and there, but again, guys, if you see your opponent on T2, go for sharp tech switches. If your Tech 1 army dies to a base, don't try to invade it again with the same Tech 1 army. Just tech up, go to Tech 3, or even try to build an experimental. Maybe not on this map, but Tech 3 would have won the game. Then total kills, man, look at that. Dark blue got us just getting some work done. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. If you guys want to send in one, just hit me up on my Discord. It's noob friendly, as with most of the stuff I do, or you can just leave it in the comment or send me an email. But yeah, guys, love getting these videos. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.